Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Creating Wealth. Marjorie Roman here, and we have our amazing mentor, Robert G. Allen. How are you doing?
Excellent, Marjorie.
We're super excited to have you. And today we're going to talk about investing. And for all of those that are looking for is getting into the game of real estate and buying their first property, how do they go about saving their money? What are the recommendations that you would give someone that currently has a job? And how much should they save from that income so they can start into real estate?
I'm not going to reveal any confidences, but in the building here where we're shooting this just today, one of the team members here is younger and has been able to save $10,000. And she says she wants to save 20. Now, prices in this area are a little higher, and so she says, I'm going to go to Nashville. Because I've been there. I took an Airbnb and I checked it out and the prices were better. And therefore I'm going to use my money to go buy a property. And what was my advice to her? Well, she says it's going to take another year to save another $10,000. So she'll have 20. Well, what's going to happen in the year while she's saving that next $10,000? The property in Nashville is going to go up $20,000, $30,000, $40,000.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So while she's saving, the properties all around her are going to be increasing in value. So it's going to be harder for her to qualify for an underlying mortgage because the prices will be higher and the interest rates will be higher. So in the next year, while she's responsibly saving that extra 10 grand, the market is going to go beyond her reach. Oh, wow. Yeah. And that's an oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Isn't that too bad? Because she's made a fatal assumption that having enough money, enough credit, enough qualification to get a traditional mortgage is the only way to go. And like I've told you many times before, it's a piano with one note and the realtor wants cash, 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 cash. And I have a keyboard with 50 nothing down techniques on it, meaning she doesn't have to wait a year. 10 grand is more than enough to get her involved in this marketplace right now.
I mean, because you started with just 1,000.
Exactly.
Everyone can do it.
So I know that a very large percentage of those homes in Nashville are free and clear with no mortgages. Now, she's young. She's a very nice looking gal. I think she's single. I'm not 100% sure. But I would recommend that she goes and she searches out. We'll talk about how to find them first in a minute. But right now, the plan is to go find a highly motivated seller in that city and to meet with them, literally. Now, they'll probably be represented by a realtor. About 90% of all the properties that are being sold will be represented by a professional. Some of those professionals are rank amateurs, and some of them are professionals. They've been doing this for many, many years. They've done this a lot. And unfortunately, most realtors are not investing oriented, and they don't have that as a mindset. And therefore, if you're going to go through a realtor, you want to find one that's an investor type realtor. But if the property is being listed by somebody in the Nashville area, the property she finds, he researches and finds, then it would be best to deal with with the listing broker. Why? Well, there's another nothing down technique in there that I don't know if we have time to, but the bottom line is.
We do have time.
Well, let's put it this way. Never pay a retail commission realtor ever again. Oh. Never. Never pay retail. Never. But it should be good for the rest of your life on everything. Never pay retail. Rich people do this. They never pay retail. Now, but it's traditional that the realtor should get a 6% commission. Some cities it's 7%. Oh, wow. 6%. This is just the way it is in our city. This is just the way we do it. Give me a break. Let me show you how to do that. To pay 5% for the rest of your life. Never pay 6%. Never. You don't have to. If you're dealing with the listing broker, that's a person who's listed it for sale. And then they have given the listing to everybody else in the city who is a selling broker. So they're willing to split the commission in half. Half to the listing broker, half to the selling broker. The listing broker, by listing it and listing it on the multiple listing service, has automatically agreed to cut their commission in half. If they got 3%, they're happy.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And someone else who's the selling broker, they get the selling commission and they're happy. 3% for one and 3% for the other. So when you're looking for real estate, if you happen to find a property that is available for sale, try to always deal with the listing broker. Now that sometimes can be unethical because you found it because somebody else showed it to you. And maybe that other person is a selling broker, right? And so that's why you do as much ethically and morally as you can to deal with only the listing broker. Why? Because you can say to the listing broker, it's your listing. I only want to pay your listing fee plus 1%. And they're going to go, wow, how can that be? I want to be the listing and the selling broker. I want both commissions. I want 6. And you say, you've already agreed to give away half of it. You said they would take half. You'd end up with 3. I'm giving you an extra one. You're getting 4. And they go, well, that's not the way the game works. No, I refuse to discount my commission to you, young man. I like it when they say young man to me. And I go, then fine, I'll go find a selling broker. And I'll say this to the selling broker. I've already found my property. I'm ready to buy it. I need a selling broker. Will you do it for 1%? And they'll go, you mean I don't have to drive you around in my Cadillac and show you properties ad infinitum? No, I already found it. It's done. It's finished. I just need a broker that's a selling broker. Do you want it? Will you take 1%? And they might go, no, I won't take 1, but I'll take 2. Great. You be my selling broker. That person will be my buying or my listing broker. Now my commission is 5%. So if the property value is $500,000, what did you just save?
Did you save about
$5,000 bucks. $5,000, 1%. Now, if sometimes they'll take 2% off, that's $10,000 bucks. That money could be used to cobble together your down payment. Maybe you're $10,000 short. And and then you go, well, if it's listed, then I know I can negotiate. Now, is that unethical? No, this is creative. Mm-hmm. This is just using the rules of the game. And they say, but this is not the way we do it. You know, I'm a listing broker. I want my full 6%. And you go, you're either going to play my game or I'm going to go find a selling broker who will play my game. Because how many brokers are there in your city?
So many.
There are thousands of them. Mm-hmm. Would you take one of them would be willing to discount their commission by 1%? Yeah. Maybe 2%. Maybe it's a friend of yours. Maybe it's a neighbor. Maybe it's a cousin that's a realtor. And you call them up and you go, hey, I found the property. I need a selling broker. Will you do it for 1%? Mm-hmm. Therefore, never pay retail. Not for your real estate, not for your real estate commissions, not for real estate fix-up. You just always go for wholesale because you're a wholesaler. You know, you're an investor. You're a business person. You need to get a wholesale somehow, right?
That's amazing. And yeah, like that gives us a way different view of what society usually gives us. Like we are so used to hearing, you need to go through this one realtor and this one listing agent just because that's the way it works.
That's the way it's done. Mm-mm. And you go, well, that's the way you do it, but that's not the way I do it.
Let's take a couple of stereotypes and make it in a way more creative and better way.
So just watching this podcast or listening to this podcast saved you at least $5,000. We're going to be like 20 minutes into this. Would you like to make $5,000 every 20 minutes? Oof. Well, that's what we do on this podcast. I want to show you how you can play the game, play the creative real estate game. And yes, the people who are on traditional real estate, they hate that. Oh. They hate it because they've been told this is the way it is. No, this is the way we negotiate it. Not the way you tell me, it's the way I want it.
And that's all of those people that say this is the way it is. That's why they're still on the same way they were before.
Exactly.
They never progressed. So yeah. Question for you though. How do you go about finding these deals around you? What are some of the resources that you use?
There are 9 ways. Oh. Yeah, 9. So obviously you're going to pick a target territory in your city. I call it your buying farm, and you're going to become an expert in your buying farm. This is, and you've heard me say this in other podcasts, but have you done it? If you haven't done what I told you to do, then you didn't learn it. pick a territory in your city that's about a mile square. Inside that mile square, there's a couple thousand properties, and drive through that area once a week. Look for sale signs. A new for sale sign goes up, you stop, you ring the doorbell. Tell me, I see this property just for sale. Yeah, but it says on the sign, do not bother the owner. Whose rule are we playing by here? Who said that? Don't bother the owner. Who said that? The realtor said that. Does that mean I have to do what the realtor tells me to do? No, I'm going to ring the doorbell. Mm-hmm. Why? Because that's the game I play. And the seller wants to talk to buyers. They want that. The realtor doesn't want you to talk to the seller. They're literally trying to put a barrier, a wall between you two. And it makes it sound like I don't like realtors. If a realtor is bringing me great deals, I want to pay them more than 6%. I mean, or more than 5%. Let's put it that way. I'll pay them the full 6%.
5.5.
Exactly. 5.5.
Yes.
In other words, if they're taking care of me, if they're making me win, yeah, I want them to win. Absolutely. But if they're playing the old game rules, nah, I don't like that. So whatever, I see the for sale sign, I go ring the doorbell. I'm going to ask them those 5 questions we did on a previous podcast. What's the location? What's the condition? What's the price? What's the financing? What's the seller's flexibility? I'm going to come up with a score. If it scores 11 or more, I'm going to write them an offer right there on the spot. Right there on the spot. You want an offer on your property? Yeah, but don't you have to go through the realtor? Who told you that? The realtor told you that. I'll be happy to write you an offer right now. And of course, you have to go through your realtor. You know, yes, you have to, you signed your name to that agreement, right. But let's do an offer right here. Let's sit down. Let's talk about it. So this buying farm is one way. It's you doing your wandering around thing, right? You wander around in a certain area where you become an expert in that area. So you know that a property is available for sale and the price is listed, and you know that that listing price is not market. It's actually below the market. Why? Because you know what other properties have sold for in that same buying farm. So you're going to go to banks. You're talking to the people who handle foreclosures at a bank. It's called, there's a name for it. I forgot it right now. But anyway, banks have repossessed on mortgages, and they want their mortgages paid off, and they want the house that they took back. They don't want it. They don't want They want to get rid of it. They want to pay off the mortgage. They're in the financial business, not in the real estate business. So I'm going to go to banks. I'm going to go to other people who deal with people who have personal problems, such as divorce attorneys, accountants, doctors, people who are losing their home to liens filed against them. Yeah, I'm going to look for anybody I can find that handles people that they would go to first to try to solve their problems. And obviously they're not going to talk about their clients like that, but you're going to say to them, if you ever have a client who comes to you like in a divorce and they are desperately needing a sale, just let me know. Let me know. I'm a buyer. I'll buy it today. Of course at my terms. Right. But I've got the cash. I can close on it today.
But believe it or not, you're also offering a solution because, let's say that I'm a lawyer and I'm dealing right now with these 2 clients that are getting divorced.
Yes.
But all I can do as a lawyer would be just oh yeah, let me help you get divorced and that's it. But how do they deal with their assets and everything? But then you, by advertising your services as I can help you with those assets.
Yes, and there's legal problems in there, though. The attorney's going to want to make sure that I'm legit and that everything's going to work out okay. But yeah, I deal with people who handle problems such as the county courthouse. Every foreclosure, every divorce, every lien, every bankruptcy is filed at the county courthouse in America.
That's like a database right there.
Yeah, total incredible database.
Awesome.
And the database you can buy. Somebody's already gone to the courthouse and got all that information for you. Oh, wow. You can buy that list. It's not that expensive. You can send letters to everybody that's on that list. At the very least, you should be sending the letters to somebody who are out-of-state owners. Those are a higher probability of creative financing. Out-of-state owners. So this database is available to anybody. You don't have to pay for it. You can go down yourself and you can see the listings of all the foreclosures and all the bankruptcies, all the liens, all the divorces. It's all public record.
Okay.
So some of you who've never done this before, this is kind of brand new information to you. Some of you have been in this game before, you know. There's a place where the foreclosure happens, by the way. So have you been to the foreclosure sale yet? Well, when is it? Good question. Go find out. Go down to your county courthouse and say, when these foreclosures that you've posted right here on the wall, when they go, who sells them? Oh, there's a foreclosure sale. When does it happen? It's on Tuesday afternoon. When? Where is it? Right here on the county courthouse steps. Really? Who does that? Well, see, and so all of the foreclosures happen on that day. And so you show up. You may not have the money to buy it. Watch it. Watch who's got the money.
You can also bird dog for those.
Exactly. So you find out who's got the money because they're standing right there in the foreclosure sale. They got millions of dollars backing them. And when you find a property that hasn't gone to foreclosure yet, because if it goes to foreclosure, these rich guys and gals, they're going to know it. They're going to show up at the sale. But before, if it's delinquent, but hasn't yet been posted, because a lot of loans, like, for example, these 2.5 million properties that are going in foreclosure, that are in foreclosure right now because of the forbearance of COVID, they're coming out of foreclosure. But for periods of time, these mortgages haven't been paid. What if you found one who was way behind, way in arrears, but it hasn't yet been attacked through the foreclosure process? You bring that person to the person that's at the foreclosure sale. You say, I found one for you. You're going to share a little bit of that profit with me?
That's right.
And they're going to go, well, yeah, maybe. And they'll give you finder's fee, $5,000, $10,000. It's a great deal. Eventually you go, okay, I'll play your game. $7,000. I'll bring you the deal. You buy it. I get $7,000. Does that work? Great. Then you keep feeding them deals until you have 4 or 5 of them that are on the take, who are doing it. And then you have a really good deal. You say to all of them, you send them a notice to all. Let's say you have 5 people with money. You send it. I say, hey, this is a deal. This is what it is. This is how much it costs. This is the kind of the investment it's going to take. I want 50% of this deal. You want it or don't you? Because the first person who says yes gets it. Now, this is a system. This is a plan for all of you to be following, because once you become a real estate investor, you need a list of people with cash. When you go out to your investor list, it may take you a couple of years to build a list of 5 or 6 or 8 people who are actively looking, and you're the bird dog. Then you finally send it out to all of your people, say all 7 of them, and you go, I found this deal. It's 20% below the market. I can fix up to this. That's a great deal. Are you interested? And you call them one at a time, and most of them will say no. One will say yes. Good. Then you send a letter to all 7 of them. You say, sorry, the deal is gone. It's been purchased by one of my investors. We're now going to turn this into profit. I'll keep you posted. Then when you've made the profit, you send it to all 7 of them. And you say, the deal you passed on was picked up by one of our 7. Don't say it that way. It was picked up by one of my investors. This is the profit we made. We turned that. He invested $70,000. It turned it into $140,000. And I just wanted to let you know. I'll just keep you posted. So the next time you send it out to all 7 of them again, what are they going to do?
Oh, they're going to fight for it.
Exactly. They're going to fight for it. So in other words, you're training your investment partners to act when you tell them to act. And this is a technique I learned from one of my students, as a matter of fact, who has a whole system that he does that. He communicates with all of his partners that way. And he's never out of money, because there's always money just waiting to pounce on his next deal, because he had to educate them. And so if you're in this game for a period of time, you need to educate your investment partners.
That's amazing. And yeah, then again, another nothing down.
Well, how much was that one worth? There's another $5,000 for you.
That's amazing. So when one of the many things that people tell us, like when talking about real estate, they're like, I cannot find anything on my city. I live in Boston. It's so expensive. How do you go about looking at other markets?
Baloney.
Oh, that's right. For sure.
I'm going to tell them, don't tell me there's nothing in Boston. I'm sorry. That is not true. 99% of the properties, yes, but 1%. Oh yeah, they're there. You have to dig. You have to dig deeper. For example, shall I tell you how? You want to do that in this podcast or on the next one?
Let's do it.
Okay. So you can literally hire for $100 a month. It's almost nothing. A company that has every property in the entire United States mapped out, who knows every single piece of real estate property, commercial, residential, everything else, costs $100 a month to tap into this database. Literally, you can search it by owner finance, you can search it by free and clear, you can search it by vacant, rental. There's so many different categories, and you can go to your city. I could go to Boston, literally take the whole city and point out the characteristics I'm looking for, and it will show me the exact price of that property. If it's not listed, what it should be worth, because it shows comps all around it. And you get the actual addresses of the owners. Ooh. Now you have to go to another step, which they sell you for almost nothing. They skip trace it. It's called skip tracing. That means you can get the telephone number of everyone on that database. And what are you going to do with that telephone number? You're going to call them. Mm-hmm. You're exactly. And you're not going to call them. You're actually going to send them a text. Ooh. I don't want you to talk to anybody yet until you know they're serious. Mm-hmm. So one of my students sends out 2,000 to 3,000 texts per day. Wow. Guess how many of those actually get a response back?
Probably like
5%. 5%. So you send out 5,000 texts, 50 people. Of course, all across the United States, but you can focus it on city after city after city. In other words, for almost nothing, you can get the telephone number that you can text. So this is what I call going deeper. You know, ordinary people, they do ordinary things. They go to ordinary real estate people and they get ordinary bad deals. Mm-hmm. You go deeper, you send texts, you do things that are a little more high tech. Oh, don't tell me you can't find a property in any city in this country. Yes, frankly, any city in the world. So when somebody tells me that, they're listening to lies. Don't listen to lies. Listen to strategies that work.
Listen to our creative mentor,
Robert
G. Allen.
There you go.
And yeah, as you said, then again, extraordinary methods can generate extraordinary deals. Thank you so much again, Robert. Such a pleasure to always have you and always get to learn a little bit more about creative real estate. And thank you to our audience. And we'll see you on our next episode. Bye-bye.